Hey everybody, what do you say? JJ59 here again. It's been a few weeks since I've made a video, and I thought I'd make a cameo appearance here. It's July 2nd, looking to be a nice sunny hot day. It's predicting, well, I don't know if they're record temperatures, but potentially three-digit temperatures here on the east end of Long Island. And yeah, at any rate, I've just been picking up, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, lately. Um, I'm actually working very slowly on trying to complete the 1967 top set. As you can see here, I have a bunch of 1967 tops cards, and just love these cards. Whenever I look at these cards, I really think of, the year it was, 1967, when I was in second grade. And throughout my elementary school career, I'd say probably from first grade through fifth grade, once a week a bus would take some of us over to what was called religious instructions. And this was at the St. Patrick's Catholic School on Main Street in Huntington, New York. And across from the school, there was this coffee shop. It was called the Coffee Shop, too. It was a little diner, And I may have told this story before, in one of my earlier videos, but, the bus would get us there probably about 10 minutes early. We all go scurrying across the street and go to the, I remember right at the counter where the cash register was, there was the candy and the gum and all the baseball cards. And, back then I really didn't know much about baseball in second grade. The other kids were way ahead of me. They had all been baseball fans for a while, and were better at it than I was. And, I just was, going along with the pack, pardon the pun. And it wasn't really until the next year that I really got into collecting, and I started getting good at baseball. But I remember, buying some packs and, getting, back to the school. And when the class started, second grade, we had this nun. She was one of those old-fashioned strict nuns. And man, oh man, boy, I'll tell you, I was on the wrong end of that glare a few times. But yeah, we weren't really allowed. We weren't allowed to go across the street to get the cards because it was a safety issue. And when she found out, I think her name was Sister Antoinette. When she found out we had gone and got the baseball cards, she confiscated all of them and put them in her desk drawer. And we thought that was the end of them. We didn't see them for months. But actually, to her credit, at the end of the year, she gave them all back. But of course, she didn't know whose cards had been whose. So I remember she gave me she gave everybody a chunk of cards, and I remember getting back more than I had purchased. Yeah. So it really worked out for me, Oh man, oh man. And I just love the 67 set. I think it is one of the greatest sets tops ever designed, bar none. There's just something about it. I mean, it's, the pictures look three-dimensional. And they're big cards. They take up a lot of space. The pictures are big. They're just so tastefully done. The backs are excellent. I mean, you can read everything. There's space. You got all the statistics and comics. And yeah, yeah. Here's another one. With these, with a couple of the sets, there are websites we can go and look at these cards. You can see every card from the set. But I've done that, but by and large, I choose not to do that because, I've got a lot of cards to go for the 67 set, also the 66 set, which I'm collecting. And it's just fun, when you type in 1967 tops on eBay, cards just start showing up. And, a lot of them, I saw a lot of these cards as a kid, but there are many that I didn't see. And it's really fun to, see the different cards from, 67 and then 66 show up. And many of them, in a way, I'm really seeing for the first time, and I feel like a kid, in 1967, seeing the cards come out of the pack for the first time. And, that's fun, Instead of looking at the sets, studying every card. I do look at them from time to time, but I haven't committed them all to memory, and there are many that I haven't looked up. But, these cards in particular bring me back to Huntington, second grade, dashing across Main Street to the coffee shop, picking up some packs, and Sister Antoinette. Just great cards, great times. Oh yeah, I picked up one more checklist. The 5th series checklist with Roberto Clemente on it. Of course, again, tops in 67, 68, and 69 featured checklists with player's picture on them like this. What a great idea. I guess the only checklist from those 3 years that didn't have a picture was the 3rd series checklist in 1969. And I've got, the 1st series has Frank Robinson on it, because in 1966, Frank Robinson won the Triple Crown, so they gave him, the first checklist. 2nd series is Mickey Mantle. Got that one. I still have to get the 3rd series, Willie Mays. I've got the 4th series, which is Jim Cott. This is Roberto Clemente. And then I got to get the 6th and 7th series. 6th series is Juan Marichal. And the 7th series is Brooks Robinson. We're going to be talking about Juan Marichal in a minute. And, real quick, some other pickups. Here's Bobby Bragan's 1953 Mother's Cookies card when he was managing the Hollywood Stars. He played briefly, but he really made his mark as a manager. Unfortunately, he was one of the players who, protested Jackie Robinson joining the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947. And he was one of the players who was part of that revolt. But Branch Rickey kept him around, and Bobby Bragan, came around, and he realized how ignorant he had been, and he and Jackie Robinson ended up becoming really good friends. And the reason why I get the Bobby Bragan card is because, again, in 1964, I remember getting a few packs of cards that year. I went with my cousin. He was really into baseball, and Bobby Bragan, the 64 tops Bobby Bragan, was one of the cards I got. And, so he became, a fixture in my Topps baseball card constellation. It was one of the first cards I got. So when I found out, there was a 53 Mother's Cookies Bobby Bragan, I put a watch on that on eBay, and then this one came up, and it was a really nice copy. And very quickly, I picked up 2 63 Fleer baseball cards. Of course, Bobby Richardson, the great second baseman for the Yankees. Shout out to Matt, straight race cards. It was wild. He actually went and met Bobby Richardson. It's wild, fantastic, incredible, really. and then Dick Howser, who also played infield for the Yankees later. And then in 1969, when third base coach Frankie Crissetti went to he decided to go and coach for the new expansion team, the Seattle Pilots, which of course later became the Milwaukee Brewers. Dick Howser took over as a Yankee coach, and he was their third base coach for a long time. He managed, I think, briefly as well for the Yankees, and then I was really happy for him. He won the 1985 World Series when he was managing the Kansas City Royals in 1985. Sadly, we lost him really young. Another thing I wanted to say about Bobby Bragan was that he was instrumental in Maury Will's career. He helped him out and brought him to the attention of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Very quickly, some other cards I got here. I'm working on the 57 set. I'm doing pretty well with that. I've got Koufax, Clemente, Banks, Gil Hodges. Still got to get, Mickey, Willie, and Hank. But, I've got some of the key cards to that set. But they're all key cards to me. I love a card like this. Yeah. And slowly but surely working on the 52 set. And I looked this up, and the way to pronounce this name is Mueller, Don Mueller. Played for the New York Giants for a time. His father was a baseball player as well, played in the 20s. And when Don was very young, the father used to throw corn kernels to him to hit, so that when it came time to hit the baseball, the baseball looked big. Don Mueller. And very quickly, I'm also working on the 1970 set. Shout out to Andrew of the Attic, Steve Blast, Pirates pitcher. And a couple other cards. I got these high numbers, I think. I don't know. Yeah, this is a high number, 657. Jim Hannon of the Senators. And Jackie Hernandez, another high number for the Royals. Okay. All right. Today is July 2nd. And how many people know that on July 2nd, 1963, one of the greatest pitchers' duels occurred between Juan Marichal of the Giants and Lawrence Spahn of the Braves. It was a night game at Candlestick Park, and it went 16 innings, and both of these guys pitched the entire game. Marichal pitched 227 pitches, and Spahn 201. And actually the game ended in the 16th inning when Willie Mays hit a home run off of Spahn. And wow, the game, 16 innings, only took 4 hours and 10 minutes, which is sometimes the length of a regular 9-inning game today. Although it isn't quite as bad since they implemented the pitch clock. That's the only rule change I could, that I approve of. All the rest of the rule changes I think are horrible. Just trying to think if there are any other, interesting facts about this game. Well, both catchers, Del Crandall and I forgot the other guy's name, but they stayed in the entire game. And wow, can you imagine that? Spahn was 42 years old, and Juan Marichal was 25. And when asked if he wanted to come out, Marichal said, "You see that old man over there? As long as he's in the game, I'm not going anywhere." And I believe after the game was over, as Lawrence Spahn entered the locker room, his team, gave him an ovation. And this is a great book. Do yourself a favor and read it. The Greatest Game Ever Pitched by Jim Kaplan. Really, this is an amazing book. I give it 10 beer cans out of a possible 10. All right, yeah, well, actually, real quick, I'll wind this up with, I got two non-sports cards, all right? This is one of the 1954 scoops cards of the assassination of Julius Caesar. Scoop number 119. I forget how many cards are in the set. Caesar, traditionally has been portrayed as a would-be tyrant, somebody who wanted to take absolute power, but it was the furthest thing from the truth. He was actually, one of the more progressive leaders that Rome had, and it was because actually he threatened the oligarchy's wealth that he was assassinated. A number of things. I mean, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. He gave some of the best lands to poor families and established settlements for veterans of his army. He maintained that the large landowners had to at least keep 1/3 of their workforce free men. They couldn't have a workforce that was comprised completely of slaves. They had slavery at the time, and so that created jobs. He also wanted to give representation to the outer provinces. This also threatened the rackets of a lot of the senators, who bought and sold. Well, I'm sorry, sold offices to people, and they had a lot of money rackets going on, things like that. So anyway, they didn't like this, so they got rid of Caesar, and then shortly after that, I mean, there was a civil war, and then Augustus becomes the first Roman emperor, and the emperor stayed for hundreds of years, and the oligarchy had no problem with actual totalitarian leaders because their wealth wasn't threatened. And I got one more card. One of the presidents I admire most is John Quincy Adams, the 6th president of the United States. This is from the 1956 Topps President Series. Since Topps acquired Bowman, in 1952, Bowman had the same exact set, same series, President Series, and Topps took it over and reissued it in 1956. John Quincy Adams was great. He's actually featured in John F. Kennedy's book, Profiles in Courage. And, the reason why he featured him there was that, in 1807, make a long story short, President Jefferson wanted to implement an embargo against Britain and France because they were at war, and they were beginning to attack American ships, impress American sailors. That means taking them on board and conscripting them in their armies and navies. And in order to try to discourage this, Jefferson wanted to what did he want to do? He wanted to stop trading with not only Britain and France but all of Europe. And this threatened the livelihoods of New England, and where John Quincy Adams was from. And at the time, what was he? This was 1807. Yeah, so I should know what he was then, but I guess he was a senator then. And anyway, he went along with President Jefferson because he felt that would be for the benefit of the country. And, of course, his own constituents voted him out of office. Later on, of course, he went on to become president. And after he was president, he was the only president who then served in Congress. And one of the great things he did there was Congress imposed a gag rule which prevented any petition from reaching the floor about slavery. But he would devise little different ways, parliamentarian type of ways to get these petitions on the floor, and his persistence finally led to the end of this gag order. And he also represented the men who revolted and mutinied on this famous slave ship called the Amistad, and he successfully fought for their freedom. Okay, at any rate, this video has now gone on 20 minutes, so yeah, just wanted to touch base with everybody and show you what I've been picking up lately, and everybody have a great 4th of July weekend, and yeah, we'll talk soon. Take care.